Welcome to Fun Factory Gaming. Capcom once again stirred the hearts and nerves of survival horror fans during the Game Awards 2025 by revealing a robust new trailer for Resident Evil Requiem, officially confirming something many already suspected: S.Kennedy will be playable and shares the game's protagonist role with Grace Ashcroft. The announcement not only reinforces the project's ambition, but also makes it clear that the Japanese company is betting on a bolder narrative and gameplay structure, blending classic horror and cinematic action into a single experience.
Who are you?
With a release date set for February 27, 2026, Resident Evil Requiem will arrive simultaneously on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2. Something that, in itself, demonstrates the strategic importance of the title within Capcom's portfolio for the next generation. The great differentiator of Resident Evil Requiem lies in its duo of protagonists, each representing a distinct aspect of the franchise. On one side is Grace Ashcroft, an FBI analyst focused on an approach closer to traditional survival horror, with cautious exploration, limited resources, puzzles, and constant psychological tension. On the other hand, we have S.Kennedy, a veteran of the series, whose campaign relies on more direct combat, intense action, and high-stakes confrontations, something that directly recalls the legacy of Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, but adjusted to the modern standard of the franchise. According to Capcom, the destinies of the two characters are deeply intertwined. Both are investigating a series of mysterious deaths that point to a possible connection with the 1998 Raccoon City incident, an event that gave rise to practically everything we know in the Resident Evil universe. This narrative choice is not accidental. It serves both to attract new players and to rekindle the interest of veteran fans who have followed the series for over 2 decades. The trailer shown at the event depicts Leon investigating an abandoned hotel, a location that also appears in Grace's campaign. This overlapping of settings indicates that the narrative will be constructed in parallel, allowing the player to see the same events from different perspectives, something rarely explored in previous games in the franchise. Leon appears more experienced, confident, and prepared, but not invulnerable.
FBI.
Capcom emphasized that although its campaign is more action-oriented, it doesn't completely abandon horror. More aggressive enemies, claustrophobic environments, and moments of vulnerability ensure that the player doesn't feel like they're in a pure shooter, but rather in a natural evolution of the action horror concept that the series has been honing since Resident Evil 7 and Village. Grace Ashcroft represents a kind of new perspective for the franchise. As an FBI analyst, her role is not just to survive, but to investigate, analyze clues, reconstruct events, and understand what is happening. Her gameplay emphasizes fear, fragility, and the constant feeling of being at a disadvantage, something that directly recalls the first games in the series and also more recent experiences like Resident Evil 2 Remake. This contrast between Grace and Leon is not only mechanical, but also narrative. While Leon is already familiar with the biological horrors of the world, Grace is being introduced to them, which helps create empathy with players who are also experiencing this universe for the first time. The direct mention of the Raccoon City incident raises numerous possibilities. Capcom has made it clear that Resident Evil Requiem is neither a remake nor a simple retelling of the events of 1998, but rather an investigation into hidden consequences, forgotten documents, covered-up experiments, and truths that never came to light. This approach allows the franchise's lore to be expanded without rewriting its history, something that has been a constant concern for the company in recent years. Instead of correcting the past, Requiem seems interested in deepening it. One of the most curious and unexpected announcements was the partnership between Resident Evil and Porsche. Within the game, Leon will have an exclusive Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, presented as his trusted vehicle during the investigation. Although partnerships of this kind may sound strange at first glance, Capcom has made it clear that the vehicle will be integrated contextually into the narrative, without breaking immersion. Furthermore, The presence of an automotive brand of this caliber reinforces the investment and global reach that Resident Evil Requiem aims to have. The deluxe edition of Resident Evil Requiem has been expanded and now includes 3 exclusive costumes for Leon: Resident Evil 4, Classic Visual Reimagining, Apocalypse, and Film Noir. In addition, the edition includes a weapon charm with the DSO emblem, reinforcing Leon's connection to government organizations within the series universe. Those who opt for the pre-order will receive the special Apocalypse outfit for Grace as a bonus, encouraging players to secure their copy in advance. Capcom also used the announcement to reinforce its support for the Nintendo Switch 2. On the same day as the release of Resident Evil Requiem, the gold editions of the games Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village, including post-campaign content, will arrive on consoles. These titles will be included in the Resident Evil Generation Pack, an exclusive package for the Switch 2, designed for those who want to fully immerse themselves in the franchise on Nintendo's new hardware. Nintendo Switch 2 Pro-themed controller special edition in metallic black, inspired by the game's visuals, will be available at launch. The first Resident Evil amiibo, Grace Ashcroft, will be the first character in the franchise to get an amiibo, with a release scheduled for the North American summer of 2026. These initiatives show that Requiem is not just a standalone game, but part of a larger strategy to strengthen the Resident Evil brand across multiple ecosystems. For those who were left wanting more, Capcom has already confirmed a Resident Evil showcase in early 2026. Resident Evil Requiem makes it clear that Capcom is comfortable balancing nostalgia and innovation. By bringing Leon Kennedy back as a playable protagonist, the company nods to classic fans. By introducing Grace Ashcroft and a dual narrative structure, it opens up space for new creative possibilities. With a multi-platform launch, Switch 2 support, major partnerships, expansion to other games and products, and a narrative that revisits the pillars of the franchise without relying solely on them, Resident Evil Requiem positions itself as one of the most important releases of 2026. Now it's up to the fans to prepare themselves, because from what has been shown so far, the terror is far from over. And that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed my work, please show your love by giving it a like and considering subscribing. As always, thank you for your support.